I'm so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this year. There's been so much hype.
We have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's gone. Collegiate Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
A little too backyard football.
Yeah, buddy. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, as long as I'm with the Let's Talk Football family, I am never alone. All the way from Canada, Mr. Alex Loosma. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. I'm excited to get this rolling. We're a week away.
Yes.
It's just so excited.
I am hyped. I cannot wait. And as you see, Alex got the hat on, and our lovely friend Katie Alverson with the shirt and the bling. I like it.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? It's been a long time. Getting excited.
Yeah.
I'm getting very excited.
Yeah, buddy. And we know there's a trend of people that come in and say first. She didn't get that trend, but she did have her little bit to say. Hi guys, go green. Kat, weren't you just over here? Like what's going on? Oh my goodness. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are so glad you are here with us. Welcome to Let's Talk College Football. This is our second episode. We did another one couple weeks back, just kind of give you a brief little overview of what we thought the top 25 was going to be, some of the teams we're looking out for, just a little snippet of what we got going on, but we got a lot for you this fall. We're covering a lot of the games, a lot of different conferences, coaches, transfer portal, NIL deals. There's so much, but I'm just so excited. I just want to get started. Let's get going. I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready. And what we do first in any of the show that's Let's Talk Football is we got to give our flowers where they're due. Got to shout out actually a friend, a cousin of Kat's. Her what's your younger cousin, Kat? Tanner. Oh yeah, I didn't know. Yep. Tanner, his birthday, diehard Cleveland Browns fan, so he's been going through a range of emotions, obviously, with everything that's been going on. Yeah, so I know he'll maybe finally be excited in week 11, but he's his birthday today. Two beautiful daughters, beautiful wife, great guy, hard worker, truck driver. You know what I mean? So he's up and down either 95 or going to the Midwest and back. So shout out to him, man. Always watches the show. Hope you have a great birthday, my friend. I know we'll definitely
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So yeah. Now he is from the great state of West Virginia, so he is a Mountaineer, and they got some. I'm interested to see what they got going on this year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hot. I'm excited. But look, we got to get into it. Oh, look at this. I promise to hop on next time. Oh my goodness gracious. Yo. Also, what we want to do, we want to give flowers while they're here, but also we got to pay respect. We got to pay respect where respect is done. And unfortunately, things happen and people pass and you never like to see it, but we do want to give a little minute. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, Luke Knox, the brother of the Buffalo Bills tight end Dawson Knox, passed away recently. Played 4 years at Ole Miss, then transferred just recently, and it's just you never want to hear this, especially you're a week away. We've all been talking about it. Right. So if you just stick with us for a second, we're just gonna have a quick little moment of silence. Yeah, buddy. So shout out to the family, those who loved him. I know his brother. I mean, if any of you guys that are fantasy owners know, last year, Dawson with Josh Allen in there was getting some attention. He was getting some love, definitely doing great. So this is definitely a heart-wrenching moment. You never want to see it happen. So prayers up to the Knox family and the community.
I'm sure he'll play a season for his brother.
That's crazy for me to think he's a year younger than I am. Like
That is
that.
Life is
Yeah.
precious. Life can be short, so enjoy each day as it comes.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, yeah. But and also, and I mean, again, with other things. Now this is start. So we went positive. We went unfortunately negative there, but let's kind of come in the middle with hopes and prayers, ladies and gentlemen. This is not necessarily football, but it is life, and that's what we talk about here as well. Prayers go out to Easton Oliver's son, and he, ladies and gentlemen, this time of the year, it's a lot of little league playoffs and World Series. He was able to make the team. He was so excited. He was going out there traveling, and unfortunately, while he was sleeping, he fell out of the top bunk of his bed and fractured his skull. So much so that he had to relearn how to walk, learn how to talk, learn how to eat, everything again. And he's pushing through, and all his team and coaches are trying to be motivated by it. But it's just so you hate it. You get to that point,
Mhm.
and then it's just like that happens. But we're not
Yeah.
claiming any of that negativity. We are
Nope.
lifting him up, man. He is recovering. He is moving. It's slowly but smooth, and we're getting there, man. So prayers up to Easton Oliverson. I know that's not football, but it's sports. It's still everything that we're about. So we want to make sure that him, his family, all of them know we're here. We're supporting you, because hey, Little League World Series. I've been to one championship on a team, and it's one of the best feelings in the world. But
Yeah.
the Little League World Series, I can't even imagine with ESPN and all that stuff, all the coverage it gets
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, prayers up to him. You guys, I know we were talking about that a little bit before the show. Had you guys heard about that?
Yeah, I had like a basic understanding of what it was. The last I had heard, he was still in the coma. So to hear all that other stuff that he's relearning everything and pushing through it is good to hear.
Yeah.
And it was nice on ESPN to see the support he's getting from MLB players, and
Yeah.
that they're willing to help with the family with whatever they need. And like the college athletes that have reached out to him that play baseball. It was just a nice outpouring to see the support he's getting from the worldwide community, and that his family feels lifted and supported too. So
Absolutely.
I give all my prayers to this young man that he can regain his life again.
Absolutely. So prayers up to you, man, Easton. Hope you get a full speedy recovery and getting back to doing what you love, man. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have to do that because before we're talking football, we're talking people. We're all people. We all have lives. We all got things to deal with. So we want to make sure we reach out to them, because if we were going through it, we would want people to reach out to us and check on us
definitely.
and shout us out and everything. Yeah. So, but here, we're here for. We're here for college football, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Talk College Football. And since this is, like I said, we had the one prior show, but that was just kind of get the feel of things, getting, feeling where everybody's at. Now we're here. We're actually talking about it. Before we get into everything, we got to break down. You see what these two guys are wearing. Okay. There seems to be, and I didn't plan this, where that M is right under and next to one of, you know what I mean? So I had to put on some of the battle armor from that Tar Heel blue, baby. I know you saw what my guy Sam Howell was doing.
It's hiding in the bottom right corner here.
It is. You know what? Let me clear that so we can see a little bit of it. All right. Yeah, buddy. But Joe, I'm coming to you first, Alex. Man, this is a sport we all love. We're all about it. But what was it? What was it for you that it was like, oh man, I love this. This is it for me. Like, talk to me.
Well, for me, it started with playing football. So I played starting when I was like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. And playing as long as I did, I just fell in love with the game in general. And then in our house, it was just kind of a tradition. Saturdays, you wake up, you watch college football. Yep. If the Michigan game's on early, you're watching the Michigan game. If not, you're watching something till that's on.
Yeah.
And we kind of got engulfed by it. We went to spring games. We went just as much college football as we could take. We did. It's a beautiful sport. It's so much different from every other level of football. So, yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Kate, what are you thinking? I know I see the Michigan shirt. I know I've got into many spats with you on college football. When was it that you knew? I love this.
When I was a little girl, I was probably like 6 or 7, and my dad had a Michigan football game on, and there was this dynamic coach named Bo Schembechler coaching on the sideline, and he was like yelling at that team and getting that team motivated. And then there was this quarterback out there, and his name was Harbaugh.
Oh my goodness.
No.
So it started a long time ago. And I was like, I loved it. I loved everything about it. You heard Keith Jackson's voice on a Saturday, and you were just
Ellie.
like,
Yeah.
you know, this is good stuff. And so I've been a Michigan fan ever since then, and been a college football fan ever since then. And it's literally, if I'm home on a Saturday, I start with College Game Day, and I go to till I can't stay awake any longer.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
Watching
absolutely.
those Pac-12 games, and it's always on my TV every Saturday morning. And I'm just blessed that I get to do this with you two gentlemen on the Saturday morning to get us going.
Yes.
Nothing
Our
better.
own college game day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They watch us to get the updates, and then they go on. You know.
Exactly.
I got to shout out my guy. One half of Washington Football Weekly. He's here on the Facebook comments talking Beamer Ball. And then I know this is gonna be blasphemous. Don't kill me. I'm just a messenger. He said, "Is Ryan Day the GOAT of the Big Ten?" For those of you who don't know, that's Ohio State's coach.
Of all time, get out of here.
Let's go.
I'm glad I haven't eaten yet.
Oh.
It would have came up. Oh my
Now,
goodness.
I'd put him the second best coach in the Big Ten right now. I still go James Franklin.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but did he put up 100?
Wow. On that note, look, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I love. Honestly, you look at the background, and it's just so many different teams. Honestly, for me, college football goes back to my granddaddy. Yes, I still call him that. I'm almost 40, and I still call him my granddaddy because I called him grandpa once. I called him granddad once, and he kind of looked at me, and I was like, granddaddy? He was like, okay, yeah, we can go back to that. I was like, all right, what? But I'm going to tell you that the reason why I say that is because me and him have such a special relationship. I've always been a diehard Washington Redskins, Commanders football team, whatever. That's my love, and I love the NFL. But there's something about Saturday morning. You know, for me, it was growing up in Notre Dame being on NBC4 and, you know, the fight songs and the pageantry, Big Blue jumping up and touching the Big Blue sign. You know what I mean? Enter the Sandman in Virginia Tech, you know, the whiteout at Penn State. One thing my granddaddy always used to say was the NFL, you game plan, you kind of know what's happening. The superstars are who they are. You might have one or two breakouts, this and that, but you know what to expect almost. College is so wide open. College is the epitome of any given Saturday. You will have a random team. I remember when Rutgers upset UCF when that crazy year, like 2008, where it's like 6 or 7 teams were number 2 for like a week, or number 1 for a week, and then they all kept getting dropped off. You know, and it's just you just don't know. The Boise State's beating Oklahoma's, the North Carolina's
State beating us.
Oh, yeah. Look, I said it last time. I'm trying to be nice right now, you know.
that just epitomizes it, though, so I had to throw it in.
It does. But that's what it is, though. That's what it is. Because even with that game, I mean, since you mentioned it, I'll never forget that. Like, I remember I was working at the YMCA at the time, and I had the day off on Saturday. And normally, I always get up, and I had went out, and I didn't get up. And my boy called me, and he was like, "Yo, Michigan just lost." I was like, what? And I think weren't y'all like 5th in the country at the time, like coming into the league. And I was like, wait. I was like, who do they play? He said App State. I said, who the heck is App State?
Oh man, that was brutal.
Do you guys want to break? This is a college football show. We got to talk about highs and the lows. What was y'all's thoughts? I mean, did y'all think it could happen? I mean, obviously, probably not. But what was y'all's thoughts?
I didn't think it could happen, but it did happen. But like we say in college sports, especially like during like March Madness, on any given game and any given moment,
absolutely,
the number 1 can fall, or the number 5 can fall to a team that you wouldn't normally think about falling, but it happens. And that's part of the like thrill of college sports, is you never know
Yeah.
what's going to happen on any day. It's beautiful to watch how you watch that top 25 just shift, and you're like, oh, I never would have expected a Cincinnati to be going into a college football playoff. And it's just, the joy of it is just unbelievable. And until NIL, these people didn't get paid to do this. They were earning their way to the NFL.
It was just all over the game.
Yeah.
That's the joy of college that I've always loved, is that these players are doing this to get to their next level. They're not doing it for all the money and everything until recently.
Yeah. Well, Now, to our knowledge, they weren't getting paid.
Right.
Some of them, we know the stories on SMU and all that.
Yeah.
Some people were getting a little, but it's not as, you're absolutely right. It's not, if that was a trickle, this is a full flowing stream. Like everybody, we've talked about last time, high school players potentially getting signed NAL deals. But I do want to shout this out. Speaking of NAL deals, and we're going to get into the top 25 and get into a couple other things. We got a lot of things for you, but I like this because one of the things that's funny is sometimes an NIL deal works. I don't have the commercial, but I might put it up next week.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard of this guy, the Coldest. I can't think of his last name.
Crawford,
the Coldest Crawford. He ended up getting with, I think, where is he, in Nebraska or like Kentucky or
he
something?
transferred to Nebraska.
Yeah. So he is actually in with an air conditioned company, and he actually was able to do a commercial and everything.
I saw that.
So good.
And I was like, wow, that's brilliant. I love it. You know what I mean?
Some college football player about ready to do a car commercial for a dealership.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is getting crazy.
And look, this is the world we live in. This is the landscape of college football at the moment right now. And it stinks. As traditionalists, it stinks because we want the old school everything. But you gotta move. You gotta move with roll with the punches, if you will. We'll see how this all plays out. But ladies and gentlemen, look, without further ado, college football is back. A week from today, it will be back. There are many games. We will break down these games, and I'm so excited because even though it's not that many, and it's not really, you're not getting the Alabamas and Georgias and all these, but you're getting some good times. My Tar Heels are playing, obviously, a couple other big ones. Like I said, we will touch on that later, but the preseason top 25 is out. It is officially out, ladies and gentlemen. Kate, I'm going to come to you first, but first I'm going to show the top 25. Yeah, buddy. So you got Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, and Notre Dame in the top 5. Michigan, Texas A&M, Utah, Oklahoma, and Baylor rounded the top 10. Oklahoma State, Oregon, North Carolina State, Michigan State, and South USC. Thank you, Southern California. Will get them ahead. Then we had Pitt, Miami, Texas, Wake Forest, and Wisconsin. And the last 5 is Kentucky, Cincinnati, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Houston. And that round out the preseason coaches poll top 25. Kate, looking at that, just at first glance, what are your thoughts? Anybody shafted? What are you thinking?
I still say that I don't agree with. I know Clemson's going to be better this year. I still don't agree putting them in the top 4 yet. They should be, like, in my opinion, 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Because they have to prove a lot this season after last season. So I definitely think it's interesting that Alabama always gets that top spot, even with the defending champion Georgia at 3. God, why do they love Ohio State like they do? I don't get it, especially after last season.
As much as I hate it, there's an argument there.
Yeah, I get it why they do it, but it'll be interesting. But I like to see that Arkansas is where it's at. Cincinnati's in there after being in the college football playoff. I would have been sad not to see them. I do agree Wisconsin could be a very lethal competitor in the Big Ten this year. A&M, definitely. I think they're going to have a really good season. They had a really good recruiting class. So I think I agree totally with where they're at. I'm going to be really curious to see how Freeman does with Notre Dame this year. See how he does as a coach and where they're going to go. It'll be interesting if they do have to pick a place to play where they do, because I know where these conferences are tightening up. I believe that we'll see how Oklahoma does without Lincoln Riley. That'll be an interesting year for them as they rebuild with the new coach. So I think it's fair, but I don't think all the teams that are where they're at deserve to be where they're at yet.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. And look, a lot of it is, what happened last year. We talk about the Cincinnati's, you know what I mean, Utah's, NC State's, and then it's also what to expect. It's how you bring in USC and Miami. I am surprised at one of the two teams we talked about. Alex, I'm going to come to you. Obviously, you guys are where you are, but you're 2 slots behind Clemson, just like Katie was saying. And I wonder, is that more of, Dabo in the last 7 years has been the 6 CFPs, and he still won 10 games on a year that we all considered an off year for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Explain the logic to why Clemson is up higher. Did you lose major pieces in Aiden Hutchinson and Ajabu? Talk to me.
So I think part of it is giving Dabo the respect he deserves and that he's earned. He's one of the best college coaches in the country over the last decade plus.
Yeah.
You still got Uwangalele as your quarterback. You've still got really good pieces in place. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the new coordinators. And when you do look at Michigan, you're pretty much starting over on defense. Yes, you have Junior Colson and Mike Morris and Mozzie Smith and DJ Turner, but that's almost it for your returning starters. You lost a ton on defense.
Yeah.
The offense as a whole is pretty much back. I mean, Hassan Haskins and a couple offensive linemen are gone, but all your receivers, the rest of your running backs, all your tight ends, all your quarterbacks, and everything are back. So I'm glad they put us up high, but I do kind of understand, for example, as much as I hate Ohio State, they probably have the best quarterback in the nation. They probably have the best running back in the nation, and they definitely have the best wide receiver in the nation. So we'll see how Jim Knowles does with that defense, because if he doesn't fix it, they're in trouble. But there's certain arguments to be made for certain teams in the places that they are.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to doubt Nick Saban and all that after that national championship game. I think they're going to come set the world on fire this year.
And I honestly think they have the best quarterback. I'm a Bryce Young girl.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a really standout year.
No, absolutely. Let's say what's up to Ash. How you doing,
Hi, Ash.
Hi,
I'm up
Ash.
so early. I just rolled out of bed. Hey.
I felt
yeah.
that. I felt that.
Ash, you need to watch so you learn about some college football. You told me you wanted to learn.
I
love it
right there.
Yeah, the only thing I contribute to college football. Go Isle. There you go, Hawkeyes. I can dig it. And shout out to Ben Cornett watching. St. Clement has some talent in recruiting. But more of the name and get them high on the rankings for 2020. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, like you said, you have the Alabamas, who we all know a lot of that is Saban, but a lot of that is we know what happens when Alabama loses. They normally bounce back in a real, little solid way. So them being high, Ohio State, like you said, yes, they're solid. Georgia being 3, I mean, they did lose their entire stud defense, but they're still returning some guys. So I honestly think that's fair. I want to move down in the list and kind of look at some teams that I know I've talked to you about, like Michigan State. Cat has left, so I can say this right now. They did have a solid year. They did come back and beat Michigan. That was lovely. Sorry, Kate. But I just don't. With losing Kenneth Walker, with losing Hayward, went to Pittsburgh. You got Naylor, who's I think Minnesota, one of their big star receivers. I honestly feel like I don't know that it warranted the top 15 pick. Maybe in the top 25, I wouldn't have an issue with, but top 15 kind of set me back. I don't know. I just don't know what people are seeing from them. And also another team that, we're going to have to break this down a little bit later. Wake Forest. Yeah. They definitely deserve to be there from what happened from a year ago. But knowing what we know now, and if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Sam Hartman is out indefinitely with an undisclosed injury. They still have not said, at least to my knowledge, what the injury is. So
no, they haven't.
Yeah, right now he's out right now, which elevates a number of teams. Obviously, my team, NC State, Clemson, FSU, some of the teams that we're going to talk about. But with them on this list, knowing what we know, it's kind of like, I mean, you don't take them off all together. But Alex, are they still top 25 without him?
Wake Forest, no. Sam Hartman's one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. To be fair, we haven't really seen the backup, so you never truly know. But going into the season, I could think of teams right on the edge there that are better than them. Yeah. As far as Michigan State goes, I think it's two things. It's kind of a blind faith in Mel Tucker, who's kind of earned that, honestly. And it's seeing what they did last year. They had so many players come through the transfer portal and ball out. Looking at Kenneth Walker, they've got two transfer running backs coming in this year. And it's just kind of like, okay, well, they did well last year. They brought all these guys in again this year, so they're going to do well. It's just kind of like a blind faith, let's wait and see kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of that is this. A lot of that is let's see what happens. Ben said top 3 for the Big Ten. In my opinion, Ohio State 1, Khakis.
Khakis.
Talking about Michigan 2, and then Penn State at 3. Hey, as long as Franklin is there in the whiteout, we've seen the talent that he produces. Thank you for Jahan Dotson. Yeah, I'm with it. I can see it happening. I want to see who he's returning this year. But yeah, I definitely like that. Yeah, I think a lot of it is, based on what happened last year, and then also who you're bringing back, the recruiting. We've all talked about it. Now, with that one, and I'm not upset. As you see, Tar Heels, we're not in there. It's okay. Right. We want the chip on our shoulder. We'll be there. I think what do we have, like 5 votes outside?
Yeah, right. You guys aren't far out there. You're sitting at
you guys are
realistically like 32-ish.
Oh yeah. And hey, look, we're returning a solid wide receiver in Josh Downs. We got some solid recruits coming out of the draft, and our D line. I think the word they used was monsters. Okay, these guys are men amongst boys, and I'm very excited to see number 10 Desmond Evans is coming off that edge, and he just wrecked it in the spring game. But we'll discuss that a little later. I don't want to get too much into my Tar Heels.
Then we have Texas, who just announced their starting quarterback finally. So that's really good. But we'll see what that's like in a year. Yeah. But anyway, I think Texas will have a very good year. Mm-hmm. I do. I have a lot of faith in them. And now that Quinn knows he's got the job, he's going to get serious about it and try to keep it and prove why he should be the starter next year. Because we know Arch Manning's coming in. So
it's going to be how well he does.
Well, I've heard the Arch Manning thing isn't set in stone. There's still teams kind of prying. Alabama and Georgia and some of these teams are still prying.
I don't know if he'll do it.
We'll see.
It's going to be interesting because look, until and this is what we talked about in the last show is that yes, he committed. But how many players have we seen commit and be 100% on this, and all of a sudden, it's like, what? You're going here now? Like, what happened? It's just like sometimes they get a feel, sometimes. And shout out, I'm not going to get too deep into this, the Monte Teo story, where they talked about him. All he wanted everyone to do was go USC. But then when one of the people at his school, one of his counselors was like, "Yo, you're a faith. I know you're going to be great over at USC, but I thought you're going to be the Monte Teo, the one and only at Notre Dame." And to see what he did and bring them back, Notre Dame's another one. You talked about that, Kate, with being a new coach. They're giving this is love. Everybody was really dogging them last year, even though they were a top 10 team, and now to have them in the top 5.
I'm really curious. Freeman, I think, is going to lead them really well this year as a coach. I think they picked the right man to lead Notre Dame into the next era at Notre Dame football. So I'm really excited to see how he does. The players seem to just love him.
Yep.
Yes. And that goes so far with guys, and especially, kids. We're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
Some of them, let's be very honest, some of them may not have a father figure. Some of them may not have that kind of role model in their lives.
Oh,
and
definitely.
he's that type of guy. I mean, you could just see it when they
Yeah.
announced him and he came in the locker room and everybody, was hugging on him and whatnot.
Oh, they loved
that was
him.
great.
They loved him, and that's college football. Walking
That
into Notre
is-
Dame Stadium, walking into that locker room, man. Oh,
I love to see, like, after a big win when the coach gets doused in the Gatorade and they go in the locker room and like Jim Harbaugh's dancing and doing the gritty with his players and that's what it's all about.
Real quick. So I do want to say shout out to Anthony, man. We're gonna talk about you later. I hope you stay on the show.
Anthony.
I got to see him yesterday. But how did we not talk about this and what we love about college football? Storming the field.
Yeah.
That is something unique to college football that I just that just gives me goosebumps even thinking about it. Because especially the closer you get, you're like, oh, whoa, this is going to happen. They upset him and they just pour onto the field. That is something that I've always wanted to be part
game, to see what happened at the big house in the snow.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Or A&M Alabama.
Yeah. Auburn out.
And
big
Aiden Hutchinson breaking down in tears and that's the good feeling stuff that you want to see in college football.
Oh, absolutely.
These big men that go out there and sack these quarterbacks breaking down because
it's even deeper than that. And not to bring an Ohio native to it, but you go back and look at like LeBron. And LeBron said when he came back to Cleveland, he said, I came back to win them a championship. And he did. And he broke down after that. That's same with Aiden Hutchinson. He said, we will beat Ohio State. I will die before we lose before I allow us not to beat Ohio State. And it happened. And when you have that, we talked about it. I mean, we know what happened to CFP, but that was their national championship.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Definitely was.
Without a doubt.
100%.
So I absolutely love that. Definitely want to hit up on Ben was saying my team, by the way, is Florida State. He's been relegated from the ACC. We start our season next week against Duquesne. FSU is barely favored. Yeah, we will talk about that.
It's rough, yeah.
Wow, how great you guys once were. Thoughts on the Big Ten landing a new TV contract? Personally, I expected it, but I think it'll be good, especially for spots to go more streaming now. Huh? Yeah. What do you guys think about that, Alex? I'll come to you first. Big Ten now, they're not ESPN, right? They're
They're going everything else.
Yeah.
ACC and CBS, all those. It's 7 years, $7 billion.
Yep.
So I don't know that they're done with USC and UCLA coming. And I just saw something today. UCLA might be held back, but if that happens, Stanford's the next in line.
Yeah.
So, it's only good for the Big Ten. This whole Super League expansion thing that's happening, it only helps the Big Ten there. So we'll see what it truly does.
It should be very interesting. Anthony said the gritty, the Holy Ghost dance. Oh, Lordy V.
I'm surprised Anthony's awake.
Right. Oh, yes. Oh, and we're going to dive into why we're surprised. My man was up later than me. If FSU wins next week against Duquesne, our fans will definitely store the field and carry Mark North off the players' shoulders like Rudy. Yes. Let's go.
I love that.
Yes. I don't worry, Ben. I won't mention Jackson State. I mean, what? Was it Jacksonville State that they lost to last year? Who'd they lose to? Who did Florida State
Jacksonville State, yeah.
Jacksonville State. Ugh. Sorry, my friend. Absolutely sorry. But look,
I think Deion's team might beat them if they played right now.
And look, Deion's team. Look, and hey, Mike.
I am so excited to watch Deion's team this year.
Watch out, man. Watch out for Deion.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Deion said he was better than him. Now I understand you trying to hype your people up, but that's high praise coming from potentially the GOAT at corner ever. So you know what I mean? That's an interesting thought. I do want to break this down. We also have one more real quick. Colin Cowherd, and those of you who don't know, Colin Cowherd has a show on FS1. Sometimes he has some pretty interesting takes. I take what he says with a grain of salt, but he had his top 25, and it looks far different. Ohio State,
It's awful.
Alabama, still same. USC 3, Texas 4, Tennessee at 5, UCLA, Utah, Nebraska, Louisville, and my Tar Heels, Arkansas, FSU, A&M, the defending champs at 14, Washington at 15, Penn State, Iowa State, who lost half their all their offense, VT, Minnesota, Ole Miss, Oregon, BYU, Oklahoma at 23, Oklahoma State at 24, and at 25, Notre Dame. Did you just blindly pick teams at the hat? Like, what? I don't even understand that. And I appreciate North Carolina love, but that ain't right, man. Take us out, Kate. Can you comment on this, man? Like,
well, the man's not big on Michigan anyway, so there's that. So he's like the Paul Feinbaum of FS1. He does not like Michigan.
Yeah, that guy, I had to turn him off the other day.
Paul Feinbaum?
Yeah.
You have to. You can't listen to him. But I don't agree with this. I think it's like he put like the teams in like one of those bingo things and just went
just picked it out, right?
Pulled them out. And no, it's crazy. But I'm not even gonna give this man his my oxygen because I don't agree with any of it. It's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah. Alex, I don't even. I mean, how do you make sense of this? First of all, I love Nebraska, but 8, Louisville at 9. I mean, and then
that
like
ranking is higher than the amount of games Nebraska won last year.
Right? Exactly.
So,
right? I mean, like, come on. But look, let's go with Utah, Georgia. How is it? Let me go right quick again. You have Tennessee,
14.
Nebraska, Louisville, and Florida
and
State and North Carolina
as well.
Right, and UCLA ahead of the defending national champions. I don't care if Georgia lost every player and returning an entirely new team. They are still going to be better than 3 out of 4 of those teams. So
I will say this. I don't think it's going to take long with what I'm hearing out of the Cornhusker land. It won't take long for Nebraska to break the top 25, I don't think. But
if it does, Scott Frost is gone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with what they're saying about their team this year, they'll break the top 25 soon, but not go that high.
Well, so here's my other thought to play devil's advocate. Alex, I'm going to come to you for this. The other thought I had was, is this maybe an expectation of what he's looking at the end of this year? Like, is this what he says the year will end with? Because I've heard things about Washington. I've heard things about upstart Florida State. I can't get it going on with Iowa State, but go ahead.
To me, there's so many teams in there that aren't gonna be in there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I can grab a handful of teams that aren't in there and throw them in. I mean, Notre Dame at 25 is ridiculous.
Yep.
We already talked Georgia. Can you put it up again?
Yep.
I've got there's a few. I mean, he's a USC fan, so I can understand why you put them at 3. Minnesota doesn't have it. Iowa State, we said, lost their entire offense. Virginia Tech. BYU, no. Oregon, no.
I don't agree with Tennessee.
Washington, yeah, definitely Tennessee that high. I like them.
Tennessee's super underrated.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be top 5, but I think end of the season they will be in the top
15, maybe, but not top 5.
Yeah, definitely not 4.
Nebraska was the.
Honestly, yeah, they were. I made that comparison multiple times.
And so the crazy part about it is, like he said, like they were in almost every game. I know they were in with y'all. They were in with a whole bunch of teams, and Nebraska has talent. They
really
talent.
do. Their defense is going to be maybe super scary this season, they're saying.
I honestly think they're, if not this year, I think they're a year out. Like, honestly. But I think, like you said, if he could turn that program around, they'll come calling for him. We've seen what happens with coaches.
Well, no, I think it's the opposite. I think if they start to struggle again, I think they push them out. Yeah, because this is year 3 or 4.
Yeah,
and it's just going downhill every year. So
yeah. Oh, okay, defending national champ. Okay, it's almost. Hey, the rain is almost over. It's a new year, baby. Tar Heels. Wow, that was a little bit too much of a laugh, Alex.
Get that number.
Yeah. If you were talking basketball, then yes, but
Well, all right, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we need to move on since my guy Alex is showing his true colors on me. God, my Tar Heels, man. One day, we were 8th a couple years back. All right.
Yep.
Yo, but we have to move on, and we're gonna be able to break this down. Look, this is just the preseason polls, the coaches poll, not Colin Cowherd's crazy one. The preseason, these are the preseason polls, which 1 game, 2 games, upset, left and right, close games. These can move and will move up and down.
100%.
And
Ohio
it all
State,
depends on how healthy a team stays.
Absolutely. Right.
You could lose your starting quarterback, your starting running back. You could lose your wide receiver, your best safety, on any given day. You saw the injuries that Michigan had last year.
Yeah.
Ronnie Bell, Blake Corum. But so you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. These players have to stay healthy for these polls to stay intact.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Because you hear players, like I said, Sam Hartman. We don't know what happened to him. I had this name written down. A guy from Vanderbilt just found out the other day, blew his knee, and he's out for the entire year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, you hate for it to happen, and you hate to sit there and use that disclaimer like, oh, they got to stay healthy. But it's the fact of the matter, like it is. We've seen Ajabu. He did great, came at college, did everything, and then and what, the pro day or the combine?
It was the pro day at Michigan where he was showing a move and down he went.
They're having a pass rusher drop back in coverage.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. You're right. And it's like, did you really need to seriously? Like,
he didn't really. That's for another show. But getting rid of all these days, they have to prove themselves.
It's gonna be interesting. You're starting to see why players opt out of these bowl games and some of these things.
Right.
But look, we got to move on, ladies and gentlemen, because with these teams, they're all led by guys and they're led by coaches. And as we know, these coaches are becoming more and more mythical features led by the great Nick Saban. So we want to break down the top 5 coaches in kind of our opinion, but, a lot of it's pretty consistent with how America looks at them. Starting off with number 1, Nick Saban, 274, 67-1, 17 titles. Dabo at 2 with 2 natties. Kirby Smart after his national title from a year ago. Lincoln Riley, 55-10, now USC. And Brian Kelly, Mr. I was in Notre Dame and now I'm a Southern-born boy.
Oh my gosh.
This guy. Alex, are you what are you thinking about this? Are you pretty much okay with this list, or anybody lower or higher that you thought, or where you at?
I think for the most part, this is the top 5. I mean, you could throw Jimbo in there. Mm-hmm. As much as I hate to say it, Ryan Day's climbing his way up there. Yep. Harbaugh's not out that far outside. Luke Fickell isn't that far outside.
Yes.
With what he's done at Cincinnati. So I think there's a lot of coaches that are kind of pushing, but I think that's your 5 best coaches right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm with you as far as, that's the list. But like you said, Luke Fickell, you cannot take him off the list. My guy to North Carolina, Mac Brown. I mean, I know this is 17 years since, but 2005, that team with Texas that he beat,
special,
right?
That
beat one of the great USC teams of all time. With Vince Young and everything. So you got to show him love. He's brought North Carolina. There's such a resurgence. We've seen what Sam Howell did. 2 years ago? Top 4 of the guys that 1,000-yard receivers all get drafted, all contributing to teams in the last couple of years. So Mac Brown, I definitely think he needs that attention. But I also want to get in touch with what's this guy's name? Napier, Billy Napier. The guy that came from the Raging Cage.
He's taking over Florida, right?
Now he's with Florida, yeah. That's another squad. Now, they have a rough opening schedule. I think they have, like, Kentucky, and they got, like, 3 of the first 4 games might be losses for them, and it's going to be interesting. But with them, you talked about Luke Fickell, Mike Leach. A lot of people, they jump on his interviews and they jump on things he says. But this guy, I mean, this right here is working for him.
Yeah.
He is playing, he's playing backgammon, and we're all sitting here doing double dutch. Like, he's on some other level. And that offense, that pass air raid offense, it shouldn't work, but it does. It works really well. Kate, we're going to come to you because I want you to tell me how you think about this list and where you feel that people stand.
I think it's fair. I'll be curious to see what Brian Kelly does at LSU after the season they had last year. When losing Joe Burrow, we know was huge for LSU and huge for their program. Losing Jamar Chase was huge for their program. So we'll see what Brian Kelly can do with these young men with his nice, deep, thick Southern accent now.
God,
I just love my players down here. They're
Right.
just so good. We're going to be so good here at LSU.
I didn't know that could happen when you move south.
I didn't know that happened either.
What?
I just don't get it. But I agree, Nick Saban. I agree with Sweeney. Smart. We'll see about Riley and see what he does at USC.
Right.
I mean, he was doing good things and bringing Oklahoma back, so we'll see. But I do agree, like Luke Fickell deserves some respect. Even Ryan Day deserves some respect because he's doing good things at Ohio State. And then, of course, I have love for my Harbaugh. We'll see. I mean, a lot of analysts still sing Mel Tucker's praises, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
James Franklin.
Franklin, yeah.
Well, look, staying in the Big Ten, and I appreciate you guys not being super homers, but what about y'all's coach? I mean, doing
Harbaugh?
what he did, producing top 3 pick, bringing the resurgence, finally beating the Ohio State. And look, in this house, again, Kat's not here right now, so I could speak this. Mr. Kaki is getting it done. He's reinstilling the blue, the big blue.
He's doing it with a very tight strap on NIL too, with recruiting. We don't have a big thing with NIL right now. Recently, not to get off coach topics, but Juwan Howard addressed it and said we need to open up this NIL game for us here.
Yeah.
To the new president, and he seems to want to try to talk more about it. But our NIL game is not what the other schools are. So the fact that he's getting out there and getting the recruits he wants and bringing good players in and everything else, and players are wanting to come here, regardless of NIL, is saying a lot about Jim Harbaugh, the coaching staff he has, because we have some new moving pieces at our school too, at OC and DC. So we'll see where we go. But I give Harbaugh a lot of props. Harbaugh is who Harbaugh is. He's quirky. He's nutty sometimes, but players want to come and play for him. So I give him a lot of mad respect for being true to who he is.
Yeah.
But still getting the players he's getting with the tight leash on NIL at Michigan.
Absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, these guys, especially the guys on the list, but also the uppercomers, new ones, like this is the meat. This is the heart and soul. And before we talk about, you got Lincoln, obviously the last two with Lincoln Riley and Kelly, Brian Kelly, they both moved. Saban's been there. Kirby's been there, put in his time. You know what I mean? Dabo, we've seen what Clemson wasn't anything 10 years ago. You know what I mean? They weren't this powerhouse that they are right now. And then for the last 7 years, they've been, mimicking Alabama, if you will, going back-to-back CFPs and things of that nature. So these guys are studs. There's a lot of guys that are coming out the woodworks, and we will see, but they're sticking with their squad. For all the stories you hear about these guys transferring and going. And look, Lincoln Riley, like I said, Lincoln Riley and Kelly, but even Kelly, he had built up Notre Dame back to some sort of prominence,
definitely.
And then took the opportunity to go elsewhere. And I'm not mad at that. Lincoln Riley, he might have cut and run and taken some of his guys with him. But at the same time, this is a business still. And we got to remember that. This is still a business. Now, look, as a part of this business, we got to give people their flowers, and we got to shout people out as they, move on and move along. And one of the things we like to do is talk about certain coaches. And ladies and gentlemen, when we do that each week, we want to spotlight a coach and kind of talk about him, tell us a little bit about what he's got going on. And to bring us that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just take a look at this. Yeah, buddy. Kate's Coach's Corner. And this week, Kate, on the first ever Kate's Coach's Corner, you're covering Nick Saban. Many
Yep.
think he's the GOAT.
I call him the GOAT of college football. You got to give the man his props. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows how to recruit. He knows how to coach. And just look at what he's done for other coaches in the college football program. I mean,
Right.
a lot of his coordinators are head coaches now.
That tree. Yeah.
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 So
Fall into that umbrella.
and the crazy thing is the man's going to be 71 years old this year.
Good gracious.
He's not a young guy. He looks young, but he's not a young guy. He's been doing this a long time. And he's been the head coach at Alabama since 2007. So we're going into year 15 for him at Alabama, which is crazy because he's got such an extensive coaching career even before that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's coached, in the NFL at the Miami Dolphins. That project didn't go so hot, so Alabama came calling and he went running. He's coached at LSU, MSU, Toledo. He's been in MAC programs. He's been in Big Ten, SEC. His record overall at Alabama is 178 wins, 25 losses.
Wow.
Are you serious?
25 losses
In what,
Total.
15 years?
in 15 years. This man is the GOAT.
Oh my God.
And his overall record in college
You're not
is
worthy.
269 wins, 67 losses, and 1 tie.
Wow.
I want to know who tied him.
And so
Yeah.
can you look at that record and not say, why wouldn't you want Nick Saban?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh my.
Jeez.
his record speaks volumes.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention the natties.
To know he's been in coaching that long and he's only had 67 losses.
Yeah.
In only
Crazy.
25 and 15 years at Bama.
Yeah.
They only
That's
usually lose
insane.
1 or 2 games, maybe 3 a season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
Yeah.
they have a lot
There's
of
been a lot of
losses.
0 loss seasons though too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, my best friend Jody is a huge Bama fan. I'd love to get her on here someday because she just knows her stuff. But he did start as a college football player as a defensive back from 1970 to 72. Does anyone know what school that was at?
No.
I got no idea.
He played at little old Kent State in the MAC.
Wow.
So he started in Ohio at
Yeah.
Kent State as a defensive back. So he does have playing experience on top of his coaching experience. He's coached in both the colleges and pros.
Mm-hmm. Michigan State.
Yeah.
So great.
And he was someone's defensive coordinator with the Cleveland Browns,
Mm-hmm.
who would be considered maybe the GOAT of pro football,
Yeah.
Buddy.
Mr. Belichick.
Yeah.
So you got to think GOAT learning from GOAT. He's
Yeah.
he had an extensive career learning from really good people and everything. But Bowls, he's 18-11. He's 9-4 in the college football playoff. 7 national championships. He's the Tom Brady of
Yeah.
college football.
That's crazy.
insane.
That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen.
7. So
Come on now.
GOAT's like the number 7 right now.
Wow.
And we know when they
How did I know we were going to bring
they
this
come
into Tom
back and
Brady?
win. So we know that
Yeah.
Saban's hungry to come back and get number 8. We
All right,
know
Kate,
he's not
Kate, I
gonna
got
settle.
to interrupt you for a second because I don't see Nick Saban doing this.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
This is a college show, Sean.
Anytime you bring Tom Brady up, I'm bringing this clip up. Let's go.
So he's got 10 SEC championships, 1 MAC championship. He's won the Western Division 14 out of his 15 seasons at Alabama.
Wow.
So he's won that division 14 times.
Who won it the other
Several.
year?
Yeah,
I
right.
can't even,
Florida? Or no, Florida's in the East, right? Yeah, Florida's in the East, yeah.
yeah. And
Oh my gosh.
there is so many Coach of the Year accolades
Oh,
he's
LSU.
won that you can't even name them all, to be honest. There's so many. And then so many of his coordinators have gone off to be head coaches. You have Sarkisian at Texas, Kiffin at Ole Miss, Smart at Georgia, Fisher at Texas A&M, just to name a few.
Yeah.
So he produces greatness to where other college football players want to pluck his coaches. So he is a little personal information. He's married to Terry. They've been married a long time. He is a devout Catholic of Croatian descent. So, and then Bill Belichick and him are best friends to this day, ever since their days at Cleveland. And so they both.
That's insane.
Yeah.
To have both of them on one coaching staff, like.
Just up here. Everybody else is here.
But he does keep in contact. They do review each other's games and give each other advice, I've learned. And
they
so
do send
when
their
you have a
quarterback,
Belichick saying
the college
to
quarterback
Saban,
to the pros.
maybe you should try this in your next game. And Saban's going, could you imagine that conversation?
Oh, I'd love to just sit there and be a fly on the wall for that.
Right.
Like,
where they're
the
giving
knowledge
each
you would
other.
soak up.
So anyway, he gives about a third of his salary every season back to the community.
Nice.
And to the university. So roughly
That's awesome.
$3 million always is out of his pocket and giving back. He is huge into the Black Lives Matter movement. He had his players march at a lot of fans' disagreement. And so he is very community minded. He's very politically minded. He's very much about giving back to the community there in the university. He's big about having his players give their time back to the community and to help young men and young women in the community achieve their goals. So he's really, in a lot of honesties, pretty humble about his success. He always gives it back to his coaches, the praise. He gives this praise back to his players. He's not me. It's about the team for him and about making sure that Tuscaloosa stays on that map. He's probably one of my all-time favorite coaches of all time, and he's not even a Michigan man. I have so much respect for him and what he's done for the college football game. And as much as you hate to hate Bama, you got to love them at the same time and show the respect that they are earned.
Yeah.
Nick Saban deserves the respect he's been given. He's probably the only coach I ever liked at MSU for football because you could not respect him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could not respect D'Antonio and Tucker too, but
you just love to do this to me, don't you? But
I love the last few years of D'Antonio when we kept whooping them.
Oh, forgot. You got backup now.
But anyway, that's Mr. Nick Saban in a nutshell.
Nice.
Well, it's the one thing that's crazy to think of with Saban is you talked about how many coordinators he's had move on to head coaches. And this is the first year where he lost to a coordinator of his.
Yeah.
And it happened twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
it's interesting to think about it too, because we saw all the commotion in the off season between him and Jimbo, and then with Dion and the recruiting and this and that, and it was just kind of like, did last year, was that you flustered now? Like, what's going on? And especially looking at the record that you were saying, Kate, it's like
he's not a big NIL person either. He's kind of like he doesn't think
he's still recruiting off the power of Alabama. Like,
right.
But he doesn't
and
think
his name.
You have to pay these young men to come play for your team. It should be about wanting to get better, be go to the next level and
Absolutely.
not
Absolutely.
get a $9.6 million NIL deal and stuff that these kids are getting.
And
So-
you know, this is going to be interesting because oh
I
my
saw it.
goodness.
I saw
Here we
it.
go. What's going on, Jason? I see it. You see the people over here. Oh man, Jason, we appreciate you joining us. Definitely come with us every Saturday morning. We will
Yes.
be here before the games, and we definitely love that energy right there.
Yeah.
Kate's Corner, ladies and gentlemen, and Kate, we thank you for that. Hey, stay tuned each week. Kate's Corner is going to come back with a new coach, spotlight their history, their record, their team, their recruits, what they're doing in the community, all those things. I thought it was such a great job you did right there, Kate.
Yeah.
I love it because I honestly did not. And you know, Alex, I think you agree with me. I know a lot about Nick Saban. I had no clue. 14 out of 15 years, they had won the SEC championship and the 7 titles and 60 some odd, 25 losses
In
Bama.
15 years.
What?
Like,
that's craziness.
He's
it's
a
like-
goat.
when you think of the dominance that he's had at Alabama, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But to realize how dominant he's really been is just like, wow. Like,
Yeah, we can just stick with the receivers.
He
Talk
gives me
about this
goosebumps
endless.
to watch, and I can't wait to see. I think they're gonna have a good year. I think Bryce Young
oh yeah.
will repeat as Heisman Trophy winner, and I think Will Anderson
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
is gonna just ball out.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
gonna be
Will
the number
Anderson's the
one.
best player in college football.
Oh, yeah. So-
Unblockable. You cannot you can't block him one-on-one.
No,
It's the
he's
best
too
first
quick.
step in the game. Yeah. And then you have Jordan Battle with there, and then
Yeah,
I think there's another
Eli
freshman.
Riggs.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, look, they're
they're my second
dominant.
favorite love to other than Michigan. So
we
know.
know you're first. You guys, oh my goodness, oh
But,
god,
no,
I wonder what it could be. No.
I can't help but fall in love with Bama and Saban. I just love that man more than I probably should.
Okay.
hello.
Oh,
Are we
yeah,
here? Can you
I
hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Can
Oh,
you hear
now
us?
I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear what you said. Anthony says you are not allowed to love Saban.
Anthony, I am allowed to love Saban. I don't have.
I can understand that as a Georgia fan, though.
I'm sorry. It's there. There's certain people you just have to have mad respect for, even if it's someone that most people want to choose
There
to.
we go.
We hear you now.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah, you're not
Awesome.
allowed to love Saban. Yeah. But do we have to love Kirby Smart? Get out of
I
here.
can't love Kirby
Evan-
Smart. Sorry.
If it wasn't for Saban, you guys don't have Kirby Smart. So
Exactly.
Think of it that
So-
way.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we can sit here and talk about this guy all day long. I know Anthony's getting under his skin. Go ahead and tell him about
Yeah.
your natty, Anthony. We know you want it. Kate, thank you so much for that. Like I said
Yes.
before, Kate will be coming every week with Kate's Coach's Corner, spotlighting a coach. And I'm now so interested in diving into Saban and being
Yeah.
like, oh, what else do I not know about this guy? But look, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming close to the end of our show. As you know, next week it is finally here. It has finally come back. The season will begin Saturday, August 27th. And
Can't
I mean,
wait.
it can't get here quick enough. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So excited. So we're going to just quickly go over what games will be next week. We're going to preview a couple of these games, just to tell you what to look for and who we're interested in. Starting off with the day games. Starts at noon, Western Kentucky versus Austin P. Nebraska versus Northwestern at 12:30. What a matchup. UNLV versus Idaho State at 3:30. UConn and Utah State at 4. Illinois and Wyoming at 4. And then Florida State and the maybe favorite Duquesne at 5 o'clock. Sorry, Ben, I didn't mean to do that to you, buddy. And then the game that is to be determined, the Nevada versus New Mexico State game. Alex, I'm gonna come to you first. Looking at that list, what game stands out to you?
To me, the big one, and we talked about this team a decent bit before, is Nebraska Northwestern.
Yep.
Seeing like Nebraska has a lot of turnover there. Adrian Martinez is out. They got a different transfer quarterback in. I can't remember his name at this moment, but there's a lot of turnover there, and Scott Frost's seat is starting to get a little toasty, like I said earlier. So I think if he comes out and shows out against Pat Fitzgerald and that Northwestern team, then I just put my desk. It gives hope to the Cornhuskers there.
Absolutely. Kate, you see this list. What stands out to you? Who are you interested in seeing?
Wyoming versus Illinois, because Illinois was dead last in the Big Ten in many statistics last year and had a really rough season. So I'm hoping with their new offensive coordinator, Barry Lunar Jr., and new quarterback, Tommy DeVito, transferring from Syracuse, that'll give their team some new blood, some new reinvigoration, and seeing how well they do. We'll see. Brett Bielema is in his second year there, so we'll see how well he can do getting the team better than last year. He's a good coach. He's had a good record in the Big Ten, so I'm hoping that they turn things around. And then with Wyoming, they went to a bowl game last year, beat Saban's old Kent State 52-38 in a bowl game. Unfortunately, the Illini did not make it to a bowl game last year. They were only 5-7. So Wyoming usually plays very traditional, grinding, low-scoring games, except for their bowl game. So we'll see how well they do this season. So they had a lot of hits, though, to the transfer portal. They had a lot of defensive players enter and leave their program last year. They lost their wide receiver, Isaiah Nair, to Texas, their quarterback, Xavier Valade, to Arizona State. He was their best quarterback, so they've lost a lot. So we'll see how well they come back. Andrew Peasley could see a lot of time at quarterback with Titus Swin at running back. But a lot of people are saying that even with the lack of depth for Wyoming, with where they've lost a lot of players to the portal and everything, that Illinois should get the victory that day. So we'll see.
That's interesting. I like that. Honestly, for me, it goes to the game that's not determined yet, and it's Nevada versus New Mexico State. Little under the radar game. Look, we know last year, for those of you that really deep dive into this, Nevada had a pretty solid passing offense with Carson Strong, who I think he's with the Giants now. I think he got picked up. I'm not sure. I saw him go somewhere. The Eagles, yeah, okay. And then Washington benefited from Cole Turner, the tight end, who is just 6'7", a man amongst boys. Like, he's a pass catcher. Not the best blocker, but he's definitely solid when it comes to taking the top off the defense, running up the seam. So I'm very interested to see how Nevada replaces that. New Mexico State is not normally a team that is anything much, but we'll see. New year, new start to things. Nevada's not, I don't think, going to be the same team they were a year ago after losing that type of talent. So I'm eager to see what happens with that. But those are the games that start at 5. Then it gets to the later part of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a little part we like to call the night game. Yeah, buddy, where we bring out the Saturday night football games, and I will definitely break these games down, and I'll start. We have Charlotte versus Florida Atlantic at 7. My Tar Heels versus FAU at 8. North Texas versus UTEP at 9. And ending it out, Vandy gets to go to Hawaii and play them at 10:30. Like I said, I'll start. You see what I'm repping. I'm going to go ahead and be super duper homer this year. My coach, Mac Brown, bringing the Tar Heels back this year. And look, I came on here a couple weeks ago and said, yes, we're done because Sam Howell is gone. And you've seen what he did. 2 TDs
He
in the
played
first
well.
game. Let's go.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm really excited for what we've got coming in store. We got Gene Chizik as our new DC now. And he's working on our defense with a lot of studs. Zach Evans, who's got, watch out for him. That's one of that guys to watch for in the ACC. Obviously, we talked about Josh Downs. He's returned 101 receptions from a year ago. Solid. He was most of their receiving, most of their options. They have some solid picks, but what I'm excited about is that defense. You got Ced Gray and Power Eccles at linebacker, Cam Kelly and Gio Bigger and Don Chapman at corner and safety. And we're bringing back a team that's played with each other, that knows, as well as also bringing a number of top tier, top 100 recruits. My only issue is at quarterback. We got Drake May, who's the freshman, and then Jacob Criswell, who's sophomore, who's been here before. Jacob's a little bit more, twitchy, more mobile with the legs, but they just say that Drake May he has it. He has that it factor. He can just gun the ball in there, but you still got to get in with the guy. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But then on the flip side, I can't sleep on FAMU. FAMU was 9-3 a year ago. FAMU was a solid team, and I believe at one point they had like a 6 or 7 game win streak a year ago.
Yeah.
So these guys they're not going to be no slouch. So it's going to be a good first opening game, and we're going to see. I think it's going to be something we're just going to take a little time to kind of get in there, but I think we'll be successful in that. Kate, I'm going to come to you. Charlotte, FAU, North Texas, UTEP, Vandy, Hawaii, any of these other night games you want to stay up late for?
I'm going to stay up late for the late one. Vanderbilt and Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
We shall see what happens. We know Vanderbilt just lost a great player, so we'll see what happens there. But it's always interesting to see a team that has to go all the way to Hawaii and play in that environment and the time change and everything else. Hawaii was only 6-7 last year. They did not go to a bowl game because they couldn't, because their team was riddled with COVID. So they couldn't play in their bowl game last year. So they're going through a huge rebuild. They have a new head coach and Rainbow Warrior passing legend Timmy Chang. They who's really gonna be leading the team well. He seems to be gelling well with the players. They need depth though and talent throughout the program to bring it back to glory. Passing attack should be good. Quarterbacks and receivers should be fine, but it's their both defensive line and offensive line that are the big concerns for them right now. And so with that being said, in minimal running game, it's going to be pass. They're going to have to do a lot of passing. And then they, the really interesting thing will be they have a sophomore quarterback that didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but stats are not the best. But this Braden Traeger is going to be who's going to lead them this season as of right now. So we'll see what happens there. Vanderbilt, 2-10 last year.
Right. They're playing Vandy, so
it's very rough. And so anyway, junior quarterback Ken Seals should be the starter. They are going through a very big rebuild this season as well. They are mostly a run team. They are getting a lot of pressure from the SEC to get their program together and to become a powerhouse and to be able to compete with the other SEC teams. So,
and Clark Lee, look, he believes in them. His media day. I don't know if you're about to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, anyway, it'll be interesting to see how the secondary does with their team, and they have Vanderbilt winning this for some reason. I don't know why, but I think Hawaii has a good chance, but they do have Vanderbilt winning.
We'll see. Look, I like what he's doing, man. Vandy is not. We know a lot of people. Anthony will always say the reason Vandy's in the SEC is to bring up that GPA. For the academic side of things. Clark Lee, you're the smallest dog out there, and you're going up against the big dogs. You have to have that kind of bravado. You have to have that. We're going to be one of, and for those of you who don't know, he said Vandy is going to be one of the top teams, one of the best teams in the country in a couple years, which is obviously right now is like, what are you smoking, bro? Like, come on. But
Yeah.
I need that though. I need, if you're a coach for this collegiate team that's the doormat. I hate to say that, but if that's what you've been the last couple of years, you really need somebody that's gonna amp these guys up. He's really about a lot of holistic training where it's mind, body, spirit, skill, and bond, bringing the guys together for more than just football, but the person. So I'm interested to see what Vanderbilt does. I want them to do better, but look, you're going to Hawaii. You talked about the time change, and I mean, look, you're in Hawaii. Like, yeah, we got to play a football game, but I'm in Hawaii, so there's going to be easily distractions all over the place. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But Alex, who are you looking at in the night games?
To me, I'm looking at North Texas and UTEP, and to me, it's two teams that are kind of in the middle of that Sun Belt Conference. I believe they're both in there. I know UTEP is, but it's two teams that played each other very well last year. They played late November last year, and it was a 2017 game. And it's two teams that are looking to improve. Yeah. So to me, it's two teams that are coming out with something to prove early in the same conference. I love that game all day.
Yeah, I like that. Absolutely. So these are the games that we will be watching next week. Again, next week we're going to preview some of these games a little bit more in depth, give you what we're thinking about, give you what to watch for do I have it? I don't have it. Oh, all right. Well, keys to victory. It's going to be a new segment where we have keys. I'm just shaking my head now. So you get the picture. Ladies and gentlemen.
We all pictured little keys there.
Right. So yeah, that will definitely be next week, and we will definitely be bringing it close to you, right to your living room, and just previewing the game. And look, we're excited now, but we're going to be bubbling over next week, getting ready for all of this stuff to get started. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here with us. We appreciate you watching us and joining us today. Hopefully we taught you something or helped you out with something. But we are coming close to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is Let's Talk College Football. We're a gutsy show. We're a grinded out. These guys, you see this Michigan, so there's some Detroit love here. So it's biting kneecaps, it's hitting them, clawing, everything. So one of the things that we want to do, because hey, we're risky. We do things like this, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, buddy, we are going for two. And this is a part of the segment where we are just going to give you a little bit something at the end of the show. Maybe something we're looking for, maybe some highlights that we have, or just something a little bit about us. Kate, I'm going to come to you first. Wait a minute. Jason McBride is in here banging it up. I've got November 26th circled on my calendar. Redemption OHIO. Jason, I'm going to tell you this right now. Hopefully you like what you've watched, and you will watch us the remainder of this season. This game, you might need to jump on the show. You might need to jump on here. Let's get it in.
Jason,
let's get it going.
It's a big day when I actually say your school's name.
Oh my goodness!
I usually don't.
Yeah. Normally it's that team down south.
Oh yeah. Let's get it. But all right, Kate, going for two. What is your final little say?
My little final say is I'm just amped and excited for the college football season. I've been really paying attention a lot to my team and what's been going on, and I'm ready to see the studs of Michigan come out this season. Maisie Smith, Mikey Morris. We have a stacked receiving core now that Ronnie Bell is back and healthy, and he's catching dimes. Catching dimes like money. So I'm just very excited to see what happens with Michigan. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year, and I'm excited to see what shakes up in the top 25. I mean, I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
As you say, Sean, let's go.
Let's go.
But I am so amped and excited for the season to see just everything. The Big Ten, the SEC, the Pac-12, Big East, all of it. I'm just excited for college football to be back, and I'm excited to do it with you two.
Yeah, buddy. Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. And my guy from up north, my guy. That's the last time I'll ever do that. All right, I'll try and do things here. Come on. I'm just so excited. Let's go. Alex, what's going on, man? What going for 2, man? What's your play call? Where you at?
So my thing for this is just going to be more of a general statement here. Let's just enjoy this season. There's all this talk from February till now, all these predictions, all these preseason top 25s. None of it means a thing right now.
Yep.
Let's wait till those first cracks of the pads happen, that first kickoff, and let's just enjoy the ride.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm going to piggyback on that. Honestly, as I go for 2, I'm just going to say, look, like we have been just salivating over this since January. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like we are all fans of the NFL. We all love, National Football League and everything like that, but there's something about bowl season. There's something about championship week, and there's something about just Saturday night. And look, you got, Kate, you're in Michigan and in the Midwest. The MAC conference, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, random games during the week. Right. That is what I absolutely love.
You're thinking, there's no college football till Saturday. You get these other teams playing during the week.
And I love it. And like piggybacking on what you said, Alex, yes, you have to just appreciate it. Like we're going to get into the loves. Obviously, you see these guys, they're not going to be able to talk OHIO State for a while. And if you don't know, right under Kate down there is another team that she likes. That is a terrible color of blue.
It's beautiful color.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where is it?
So I mean, the rivalries will be there, the fun, but look, it's back, guys. Football is finally back, and still, it's like we have a week left, and we're so excited. But it's probably gonna be one of the longest weeks. There's preseason football, there's other stuff, but it's still like, oh man, can we just get going?
Jason just said it so well.
There it is. Comment of the day: NFL does not compare to college ball. Saturday nights, like the camaraderie.
I'm trying to get to the Michigan State game under the lights.
Oh, I'm trying to get there too.
We might need to book it. We might need to work that out and do some on the field sideline reporting.
This will be something because you usually don't let us play unless it's noon under the lights because of the rivalry.
Yeah,
it's exciting, and I can't wait. So hey, going for 2. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to say as a part of this Let's Talk Football community, we got a lot of different shows, a lot of different things going on. Late yesterday, one of the members of the Let's Talk Football community that also talks college football, our friend Mr. Anthony Handy, showed up in town, and Kat and I were working. We're doing stuff all day, and we were actually in the area, and he was like, "Oh, we're right over here," and I was like, "Okay." So we stopped in, chilled out a little bit, had a little fun, and enjoyed ourselves. So I want to shout out my guy Anthony, Georgia fan, this weekend SEC. He'll definitely be on here from time to time to talk a little football with us and whatnot. He's in the comments right now, but we got down. He does a little karaoke thing. I might have got out there. Cat was out there. We'll see what we got. Check this out.
Everybody got their cup, but they ain't his hands. I just type to fan, happens all the time. You gotta get yours before I gotta get mine. See, everything is fine when you listen to the D.O.G. I got to cultivate your music and be captivating me. Who listens? Check the words that I speak as I take me a drink to the middle of the street and get the back into this insane scene. So you can be the always late. 80 degrees when I told that bitch please bring the monkeys in your cheese cause you get the bees at ease as I'm out.
And stop.
Catherine at the end. Yeah, she was.
Oh,
Wow.
that's great.
Holy.
Yeah, and he did the whole song of. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, that's Eminem, Rap God, the song that he karaoke to, and he just. And I'm right in front of him, like,
Wow.
and he's saying each word, and I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, how's
That's a hard one to do.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Because the goat of rap raps fast.
Yeah, and he really killed it. He absolutely killed it, but it was a good time. Ended up going, and it was one of those things where we were like, I had gotten off work. Kat was, working at school and everything. We were gonna go home, and he was like, hey, I'm right over here, and I was like, dang, we're like, the road we were on is like, it was like the next turn, so it was like, all right, went in there, hopped in, chilled out. A lot of people, so he's from this area, or he lived here for almost 20 years. So he had a lot of people that were over there, and they showed up, and they, we got to meet a lot of cool people. But it was good seeing Anthony. Shout out to you, Mr. Handy. This week at SEC is on a Monday night at I believe 8:00. Definitely tune into what they got. They are focusing on that SEC. They're diehard Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs! I know you love that. And Alabama and all these different teams that they try to focus on. So definitely tune into them more specific. But we're gonna try to cover everything. We're trying to bring you a little bit of everything, and it's not. And look, I know what you see over here, ladies and gentlemen. We will not just be a show from Ann Arbor, okay? All right? Because if they do that, then you know what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we're gonna do, and I'm just warning them right now. You want to bring some Ann Arbor love?
Let's go, Tar Heels! You already know what it is.
Yes. Well, look, while we love the whole football, the whole sport, everything college football, as you can see, we are not shy about where our affiliations lie. Yeah. You got Michigan over here.
The background's about to be worse for next week. I'm giving you the heads up now.
Let's go. I love it.
And guess what? Sean, you're going to love this. For my ladies takeover, I may be having a Tom Brady cutout coming to be behind me.
No way. Oh, Sean, we can't hear you yet.
You're muted. He can't tell me what he thinks. I love it.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Are we back now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was saying some choice words, all right? And then just
I know you were.
Yes. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here with us. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. Next week, we will be back, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the first week of college football. The 2022 season is upon us. So excited for that. Cannot wait.
Oh, yeah.
Literally just shaking. I need it. I need something right now. So, hey, we appreciate you tuning in. Let me say, him is a go to rap. The dude can go through. There's no Ann Arbor love. Ooh, wow. Bang, 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 bang. College football season is here, and I am so excited for it. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, you know who it is. Your boy, Sean Spencer.
Alex
Loosemore, baby.
And Katie Elverson.
There it is. Look, we'll be back with you next week. Get ready. Get set. Put your jerseys on. Get all your paraphernalia. Put it on your wall. Chant whatever chant you have to. Sing whatever you have to, because football is back.
Hail to the victors.
Yeah. Hail to the Tar Heels. Right. Hail to the Tar Heels. Is that what we said?
No, we said the victors. No.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Let's Talk Sean Spencer right now, because apparently my co-host.
Oh.
Hey, I got the hand on the button. I just let y'all know that.
As soon as that happened, I was like, yeah, I just.
Yeah, thank goodness Washington. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
North Carolina and Michigan don't play in football, but we do play early in the college basketball season.
Yeah.
So there might be an interesting show. Just in case something happens. I've been sick for a while. So. Ron's not on the show today because. All right, guys, we got to let you guys go. We appreciate you being here with us. Stay tuned. We will be hitting you with the segments and the comments and all that stuff on YouTube and everything like that. Definitely sharing it with you. But hey, hit us up. Hit us up with your
Yes.
comments, your questions, anything that you want to know, any insight, any thoughts that you had. Because look, this is we feed off of y'all just like y'all feed off of us. We appreciate y'all being here with us this whole entire time. So hey, peace, people. We'll talk to you next week. Let's go. College football is back, baby. Woo-hoo.
Here.
I'm so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this
Yeah.
coming year. There's been so much hype.
We have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's gone. Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
A little too backyard football